Okay, welcome to everybody for today's very first webinar of WISH, the Women in Sustainable Hydropower. And I've made a little presentation to introduce WISH again for the ones who hear and see that first of all, but we'll jump into that matter with our four panelists right after the few minutes I will take to do that. Lizzie will be as kind as to turn my slides because for some technical reasons or whatsoever, I can't share them myself. So let me simply tell you what WISH is. It is a network of like-minded women and men, if wanted, to connect, share ideas and explore common actions. We are an informal gathering place for women in the hydropower community. And we want to offer a basis to create official representation of women in hydropower. It is not a formalized body by IHA or GWNet, or the Global Women's Network, for the energy transition with any chapters or fees to be paid. It's a very new organization. It's even so new that I simply put the logo left bottom corner that came out last week, and I'm really proud we got that far, kicking off almost exactly 1 year ago. I think we've made some progress, but of course the logo helps the visibility much better. We are a new organization and not to compete with existing organizations. For the moment, our internet presence is hosted by International Hydropower Association, mainly driven by Debbie Gray from IHA and also her communications officer, which is Victoria Cardenas, who has done a lot of preparation work, but also by GWNet and their communication function, Nandini Venkata. Next one, please. So that's what we are and what we are not. Why do we need WISH? Why do we need women in sustainable hydropower? First of all, the first sentence on that slide in the kickoff said, because Barbara wants it. And that is true, but of course it's not the complete truth. There was a strong need and a desire, and I think Ying can share that on a historical basis too, because we talked this already 2 years ago when we met in Sweden in the conference. We had the need and desire to catch up with the other renewables, like other women have there. Women in wind, women in solar, women in clean cooking, in storage, in hydrogen, and many more. The SMAP study, SMAP is a part of World Bank, that IHA and GWNet did together, and that was launched 2 years ago in fall, on women in hydropower, gender in hydropower, really triggered my desire even more that we should have a global women's network for hydropower too. And do some community building beyond individual personal contacts, which we had so far then, and seeking to empower and inspire women in hydropower and the related fields. Next, please. So who, for the moment, is part of WISH? It's CIEDI, first of all, and thanks again for offering the platform to do this webinar today. It's the Women in Hydropower Mentoring Program, which might be quite known to some of you or many of you. It's the DEI DEMS initiative from Mary Jiang that has a women's group. It's WIRI in the meantime, the Women in Renewable Energy, who are most interested to be connected with us. It's an organization called Student Energy, which is interested to be there. It's, of course, us, IHA, and GWNet. And we hope more to come as network partners. I heard some interest from NHA, but we will discuss that later in a sort of an inner circle again, how they will be willing to join us, which would be great in the background of the current DEI policy in the States. It would be great to have somebody from them in here too, to hear what they are striving for and how they are going to stay there. Next one, please. Our vision for the future is wish to be and to spur for all partners in the hydro community to have a women's network, as already said, connect us all, make women in hydropower comparable in visibility to other renewables, and increase the women's share in hydropower with full equity or equality as a long-term goal. From the SMAP study, I can tell you we're sort of 25% women in the whole hydropower sector. And as a short fact finding, it is like 25 on an average, but it's sort of going down as further you go up the hierarchical ladder. And most of the women are not employed as engineers, but employed as either commercial people, communication, HR, and many other fields that are not directly technically equipped. So we do not even lack women, but we also lack women engineers and women technically educated persons and women there. That's in a very short nutshell what the study said. And next, please. With that vision, we plan for more knowledge transfer, as we used to call it for the moment. And today is our very first webinar presenting women's mentorship experiences and successes, because we think that mentoring is one of the pillars of enabling and empowering women worldwide. And I can simply share my experience with GWNet and other mentoring programs for women in the energy sector or in the energy transition, also in hydropower, that mentoring really helps push things forward for each single woman. Of course, that does not create a big mass like it seems in the first instance. But we'll hear today from 4 panelists their really great experience with mentoring, and want to encourage more of you to either become a mentee or even more, if you have been a mentee, become a mentor for another woman to help and support her. And with that, you see the names here, and we don't need the share now. I will simply call all your names, and I ask the first round for the 4 panelists to introduce themselves and to say their names, their position, their country, and everything that is important on their current status and function. And the next round then will be that we hear from all 4 panelists in a couple of rounds what was important to them. So why don't we simply start out with my first in the list here is Flavia Aniko from Uganda. Flavia, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Barbara, and thank you, ladies, for joining us today, regardless of whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'm excited to be a part of this conversation this day. My name is Flavia Aniko. I live and I work in Uganda, that's in East Africa. Right now, I'm the head of risk management in an energy utility, the Uganda Electricity Generation Company. It's a government-owned company and responsible for developing, operating, and also maintaining government-owned electricity utilities. I was a part of the U.S. Women in Hydropower Mentorship Program. That was for 2 years in a row with the same mentor, Barbara, 2018 to 2019, and then 2019 running into 2020. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Flavia. So what about Salma? Would you be next?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Salma Banay. I'm originally from Tunisia, and I'm currently based in Finland. My academic background has been rooted in electrical engineering, where I pursued a research master in power system, followed by a PhD in advanced control full power converters, with a focus on power quality enhancement and grid code compliance. And shortly after completing the PhD in mid-2024, I joined GE Vernova as a lead design engineer in system design. And that same year, I had the privilege to participate in the Women in Power System Transformation Mentoring Program, a joint initiative by GWNet, NREL, and the GPST Consortium. And yeah, I'm very happy to be part of this webinar today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Salma. So Mishika, would you be next, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Mishika. I'm very happy to be here today with you all, and thank you to Vish and CIT for having us today. So a little bit about me. I did my undergrad education in electrical engineering, and then I worked in the power and energy utility sector for the last over 5 years now, with experience in power generation and distribution. So I'm currently based out of Toronto, Canada, working at Toronto Hydro, powering the city of Toronto. So before joining Toronto Hydro, I used to work at Nova Scotia Power in the eastern part of Canada, where I was involved in projects related to renewable energy generation, grid modernization, and sustainable infrastructure. I'm also currently pursuing my MBA at Rockland, University of Toronto, while working full time. And I had the privilege of joining the CRT Women in Power Mentorship program in 2021, and I'm in my 4th year in the program now. And I look forward to sharing more later today.
Thank you so much. Last but not least, certainly, Carla.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to share my experiences with you. So my name is Carla Quinto, and I am originally from Brazil. I am a mechanical engineer. I've done my bachelor's degree in Brazil, and I have a master's degree from America in fluid mechanics. I work in London for a company called Verdug Renewable Energy, where we have developed a new turbine technology for low head hydro. And my position there, I am a senior mechanical engineer and market lead for South America, as now I'm also involved in some business development and project management activities. And I participated in the Women in Hydropower program, mentorship program. Yes, my mentor was Ian. Yes, had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carla. Maybe you stay on the microphone because I think I'll do a reverse order now to make it a little bit more interchangeable. So what was your personal experience with your mentorship program? Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, sure. So most of my career, I've worked for small companies, so I had never done any mentorship before. So this was my first experience. And I met the program through a colleague who worked with me, and she told me that she had a great experience doing this mentorship. It was really helpful for her career, so she really encouraged me to do it. And so I applied for it, and my idea was that at that time, as I said, I work a lot with technical hydro as an engineer, but I was also starting to do some other activities in project management and business development, especially in South America, trying to bring this technology to South America. And so I didn't have any experience with that. So I was looking for some guidance, maybe for somebody who had already had experience in doing this transition from something technical to something more management. So I was hoping to get some guidance, through this program. And actually, it was very helpful for me. And also, it helped me in all the challenges that I was facing at work. So it was a really, really great experience, and I'm very thankful for all the mentors that participate, that take their time. I know you're all very busy, but take the time to help us, to grow in our career. So thank you so much for all the mentors for helping us. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. So Salma, what was your original idea how you came into that mentoring, and what was your personal experience with that?
Well, my mentorship experience happened to be an essential moment in my life. I was finalizing my PhD, navigating personal transition, and thinking seriously about the next chapter of my career. What made it especially meaningful was the connection I had with my mentor. There was an immediate chemistry, a sense of trust and being heard, And that connection is what really elevated the experience beyond guidance. I felt like I had an advocate in my corner, someone who saw potential even when I was still figuring it out myself. So, in my point of view, mentorship was not about someone giving you an advice. It was more about someone standing beside you as you become the person you want to be. My mentor didn't just coach me through career decision, but she empowered me to show up fully, to own my personal brand, to believe in my voice, and to navigate opportunities that were completely new to me. And yeah, this experience helped me to feel more confident, to understand what I really wanted, and give me the courage to take important steps in both my career and my personal life.
Okay, thank you. That sounds wonderful. So, Mishika, what about you?
Yeah, so when I joined the CRT Women in Power Mentorship Program back in 2021, I had just finished school and just entered the real world, about 1.5 years into the real world. I had like slowly started different mentorship programs, both like officially and like through like relationship building at my previous company. But this came at a time when I was working in rural Nova Scotia in the generation side, where you're usually the only woman in the room, and you're usually the only woman engineer in the room, and sometimes you're the only person of color in the room, right? So this came at a time like that, and so in my group there are three other incredible ladies with me. So when we first started the program, 4 of us were in 4 different time zones, all within North America, but 4 different time zones. But we made sure that we all attended our bi-monthly meetings every 2 months, and we caught up for a full hour, and we really enjoyed it. That we continued with the same team for over now going into the 5th year, hopefully soon. And we've also not just a mentorship relationship building, but we also build a friendship within us. So 3 of us have met each other. Like I traveled to Seattle one time, and I met my fellow mentor working at Tacoma Power there. And then when I was living in Nova Scotia, when I visited Toronto, I met my other mentor who's based out of Toronto. So we keep meeting each other in person too. We try to make that happen. And yeah, it has been a wonderful experience so far.
Thank you so much, Mishika. So, Flavia, what was it that drove you into that mentoring relationship?
Thank you, Barbara. For me, I was experiencing a career transition when I joined this utility. I joined as an engineer, a civil engineer, and in about 1.5 years, I was transitioning from engineering to risk management. So it was a new world for me. It was completely different from what I was used to, and I wasn't sure about many things. So actually, I got to learn about the mentorship program in a very random way. It was a gentleman actually who shared the link on one of the communication platforms in the office. And I thought, okay, this is a US program. Will I be able to relate? Will we connect? We seem worlds apart. And how am I going to connect with someone who doesn't know me, who I don't know? Will we have the right chemistry? I had all of those concerns, but I also really needed to reach out to someone, and I felt like I hadn't found that person in my space. So I was willing to try it. And I have no regrets, because at the moment I connected with Barbara, it was a very natural connection. And I think we connected really well because the objectives of the program were very clear. My own objectives were clear. The objectives of the mentor were quite clear, and we were both really invested in the program. So it was very easy. I looked forward to the monthly conversations, and my mentor was available when I had an SOS moment once in a while, way before our scheduled time of meeting. So it became a very important relationship for me, even beyond the period of the mentorship program that I have maintained to this day. And it also taught me to value the experiences people are willing to share with me. And I learned that my experiences too are valuable and could, benefit someone else. And that led me as well to become a mentor after that program. So while mentoring, you can be a mentee, and, vice versa. You benefit both ways. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Flavia. Some of you already talked a little bit around the next points we are coming to. So how did you connect with your mentor and your mentorship program? To me now seems almost superfluous, but I do not want to keep you back from still saying something about that. But maybe you can connect or combine your answer now with the next question that says, what are or were some of the benefits you've received from that relationship and from the mentorship? Can you give sort of some examples? So Flavia, would you like to go on here?
Yes. Well, as I said, because myself and my mentor were really invested in the program, it was not difficult to connect. So it doesn't matter whether you know the person prior or you're just meeting them for the very first time through a mentorship program. If you're both invested and committed to it, it works. And I benefited a lot, especially in the line of becoming self-aware and learning to self-reflect, so that I grew to be in charge of how I would respond to, different situations instead of emotionally reacting. I also grew as a leader simply by, learning from and listening to my mentor's experiences and sharing my own experiences, and, just analyzing scenarios and being able to pick out leadership traits that, I was doing well and those that I needed to pay more attention to. And that helped me grow as a leader. But most importantly, it helped me deal with imposter syndrome, because in making this career transition, I was unsure about many things. A lot goes on in your head. And I just kept thinking, I felt like everybody was watching me. They're going to find out that I don't know what I'm doing, which wasn't true. But in, putting this, discussing this openly through the mentorship program, first of all, I realized that there is nothing new under the sun. People are experiencing the same things, probably in different ways, but it's the same thing, and it's really all in your head. So it helped me deal with that and boost my confidence in what I was doing and the work that I was delivering. And also through this same program, it opened me up to meeting other people. It said that you're only 6 people away from anyone in the world. So interestingly, through my mentor, I met another of her mentees who was in a similar field, and it was so interesting how we were able to relate and, share experiences, even if we're in different parts of the world. And that was really helpful. Thank you.
You're unmuted, Barbara.
Sorry. I tried to be brave, a good girl, and mute myself. Now it's hitting back. Okay, thank you. Mishika, would you like to share also the benefits you received from that program and your mentoring special?
Sure. So yeah, before I talk about the benefits, I do want to quickly say I randomly, got the opportunity to join the this mentorship program. So back in 2021, I was part of the diversity, equity, DEI initiative group for the power generation team of Nova Scotia Power. And at the time, the lead of that team was Aileen. I think she's actually on the call right now. But she happened to share the registration link for the mentorship program with a few of us women working in power generation at the time. And that's how I ended up joining the program, and ended up with 3 incredible women. So moving on to the benefits, I think my benefits are similar, but maybe I'll I'll share my personal examples with them. So for me, one of the biggest lessons learned that I've gained through this mentorship program is having difficult conversations. Again, as like an early career professional, you don't know like how to say things, when to say things, when it's okay to say things. And my team my mentorship team has been, right by my side whenever, I was having challenges at work. They would, give me a pep talk, build up my confidence, help me see beyond the challenge that I'm facing, and help me navigate through that. I can give a couple of specific examples. At the time, I wanted to gain more experience in generation. So I had to talk to my mentor, supervisors, and several other managers at the company, and request that I want to learn more. I'm interested in these parts of the company, and so on. And then furthermore, when I had to make the decision to move from Nova Scotia to Toronto and then start part-time, they kept telling me, you're doing the right thing, this is the right time to do your MBA, do it while you're young, and because they have gone through similar parts in their lives too. So they helped me see the bigger picture and give me clarity whenever I have doubts. And further, where one of my other mentors are also based out of Toronto, we now keep meeting new people that we through each other, which is so those are the benefits that I have come across so far. Thank you.
Sorry, did you hear me? No. Carla, I'm sorry. Yeah, I obviously double clicked now. Can you talk about the benefits a little bit you received?
Yes, so my connection with my mentor was very good because she had gone through a similar path in her career, from a technical hydro to management, in her case, executive position. So it was very good. She used to share with me her experiences, the courses that she had done to get to those positions. So that was really, really helpful for me. And she was, like very kind, like available, when we had giving me options to schedule our meetings. So this was also very helpful. And but she helped me not only doing this transition, a bit of transition in my job, but also to advocate for myself. So I work for a small company where it's basically only men there. I'm the only woman. So sometimes it can be a bit difficult, to be heard, or sometimes it feels that my opinion was less important than men's opinion. So she really helped me sharing some experiences that that some things that she had gone through and how she was able to deal with those situations. And that was very insightful for me, and for me to be more confident. So that was very helpful. And also I was, because I was doing more things at work, more tasks than, not only the technical. I was feeling that I needed to, to be promoted, or to have a pay rise, because I was doing much more than what I was hired for. But for me, like as it was said here already, it was difficult to have sometimes these difficult conversations. It's hard to go to your boss and say, oh, I think I deserve a pay rise. So this is I think for men this is much easier to do, but for women we doubt ourselves. I think most of the women, of course, not everybody, but so for me it was something difficult for me. So she gave me a good support for me to be more confident, to believe in myself, and to do it. And they helped. I was promoted. I got my pay rise. So that was very, very helpful. Very thankful for that as well. And also some other benefits were that I think it's very good as well. Like I lived in America before, and now I am in the UK, but I am interested professionally in the American markets as well. So as she works there, she was able to give me, to do some networking. She introduced me to a few people there as well, and she told me about conferences that are happening there. So I think it's something that you can also discuss with your mentor. So this was very good for me as well. She gave me, some insights about the market there, the things that I didn't know, that so there were many benefits from my mentorship, definitely, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Carla. So, Salma, I think we still need your benefits.
Yeah. So first, my connection to the mentorship program actually began quite unexpectedly. During an internship at NREL, one of the program leaders introduced me to the Women in Power System Transformation Initiative and encouraged me to apply. And at that time, I was wrapping up my PhD and navigating a lot of change. And it was also my very first time joining a mentoring program. So I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. But I trusted her recommendation, and looking back, it was a good decision I think I made that year. And this opportunity brought me to the GWNet and eventually to my mentor, Barbara. And from the start, our exchange felt open and natural. We set some goals and check-in points. But over time, things flowed beyond the formal structure, and our meetings became a space for honest conversation, full of empathy, clarity, and mutual trust. It wasn't about hierarchy. It was about showing up as we are, learning from each other, and moving forward together. And that really made a difference. And as benefits from this relationship, well, I can say that this mentorship helped shape my trajectory. On a technical level, yes, I gained support on how to sharpen my resume, for example, how to structure my job search, and how to show up professionally. But the deeper benefits were more on a human level. So my mentor helped me to break down invisible barriers, think that many women, especially from underrepresented background, face quietly. She helped me to prepare for interviews, not just in the terms of contact, but how to own the story with pride, how to discuss everything, how to negotiate salary, how to dress for the interview, and how to navigate those subtle and high pressure topics. And more than anything, she empowered me to advocate for myself. She taught me to be the loudest champion for my work. And that's the kind of coaching that goes beyond career advice. And it was all about personal growth. And in practical terms, so I completed my PhD and moved across continent to join GE Vernova in Finland, and all within 1 year. And I truly believe now that without the clarity and the empowerment that this mentorship brought me, those transitions wouldn't have been as grounded or successful.
Okay. Thank you very much, dear Salma. Yeah, I sort of heard now that almost all of you came into that mentorship by accident or upon advice from somebody else, which is amazing to me. Seems that the mentoring programs themselves should propagate each other or themselves much, much better and wider. But at least you got somebody who pointed you there and came into a program, which is a nice experience to hear also maybe for the development of other things for women to be more empowered. So let's go back and say, is there any advice you would have for somebody now to go into mentorship from your personal perspective through your own mentoring? Mishika, would you like to start with that?
Sure. I can give some advice. I guess the biggest advice would be to be proactive and intentional. I think you have to almost always seek them out and build the relationship and put in the time and work to build up that so I think first you could like identify need. Are you looking for like specific skill building, or are you looking leadership advice, or like just general career guidance? And I think being clear on what you need will help you find like a more suitable mentor for you at that time. I would also say like especially if you're like an early career professional, like how I was when I first started, I would say don't be discouraged thinking that you won't have something to bring into the table. Believe it or not, that you still bring contributions to your mentors who have 20, 25 years more experience than you have. So in my team, there have been instances when one of my mentors, having had to navigate a difficult direct report and go through a performance review. So she had to go through that person. She, pitched the hat on her mind. Did we have any feedback, anything like that? So I got the opportunity to tell her like, reporting to her how I would react if she said the things that she was trying to say. And then more recently, one of my mentors company changed ownership, so she felt like even though she was working for the same company, she like by default she was suddenly working for a new company. So reach out to me, especially asking how did I moving from Nova Scotia Power to Toronto Hydro. I got to give some, contribute back to my mentor, which was really nice. And then last but not least, I would say, don't be afraid to ask. Many people need to share their knowledge, even if it's not like an official mentorship program. I would say just, be you and keep building mentorship relationships.
Okay, thank you very much, Mishika. Flavia, would you please go next? What would you take or put across as an advice to others?
Yes, maybe just picking up from what Mishika has shared. It's really important that you go into a mentorship program with an open mind and an open heart. Sometimes we might have preconceived ideas on, what leadership is like or what career growth is like. But listening to, what people have gone through and being able to relate to that while also reflecting on your own experience. If you go at that with an open mind, then it sparks a sense of innovation in you, and you're able to see yourself probably in a way you hadn't seen before. So just being really open to the conversations and where they will lead you will help you derive a lot of benefit from the mentorship experience. And of course, to see that benefit, you must be committed and consistent. If you commit to, let's say, once a month, meeting once a month or every 2 weeks, whatever your schedule allows you, follow through with that, because it's in that day-to-day, the small improvements that you look back after a few months and you're like, this has really changed, or I have really grown in this area. That only comes from actually being consistent with the program, the conversations, acting on, whatever actions you agree on, and you take them seriously. Then you'll begin to see the benefits of the mentorship program. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Flavia. So, Carla, would you tell us what you would give as advice to others?
Yes, I think a lot of things were said already that about what I think. I think it's really to use this opportunity to talk about any challenge that you are facing at work. I think the more you build the relationship, the more you're going to feel more comfortable to share those things, because sometimes, in the beginning, you're like, I don't know this person, I don't know how that person can help. But the more you build the relationship, you feel more confident, and don't be don't be afraid to share your challenges, you know, like everybody, they have more experience than us, so they can really, probably they went through something similar, and they are going to really be able to give you good advices, and also share your future plans, you know, because they may be, of course, they can help you in your career, you know, like sometimes you, like in my case, I have this idea of America. So sometimes you have other things in your mind. So share your plans. They can help you. You never know how they can help you. But you know, just be open, just be honest, and yes, and make the best out of it. And I think you know, it's very important, as Barbara said in the beginning, you know, to have these women global network, you know, because we know that usually we deal much more with men in this field. So it's very important, you know, to have this, you know, this person as a mentor, somebody that you can trust and open up about the difficulties that are going to help you to grow in your career.
Okay, thank you very much, Carla. Yeah. Openness and trust and a good relationship up to friendship. Yeah, I think the essential pillars, I think you addressed many of them. I'm not in the situation to sort that all out into a systematic sketch or whatsoever visual. But let's hear from Salma as the last one in the row now. What would be her advice to others?
Yeah, so I totally agree with all that has been said so far. I would say that first, clarity is the key. You have to ask yourself, what are you looking for as a mentee and in a mentor? Is it support in navigating your career, building confidence, developing technical skills, and being clear about your goals from the start will help you lay the foundation of a meaningful mentoring relationship. Then being proactive is also very important. Don't be afraid, don't be shy to reach out. And commitment is also a very important point in the process, because I think mentorship works best when both sides are engaged. It's not just about receiving advice, but maybe about dedicating yourself to the journey. You make the commitment to fully immerse yourself, setting clear goals, actively seeking guidance, and staying open to feedback. I mean, don't just be mentored, but take the ownership of your own development. And then you have to focus on communication. Be honest, open, and intentional. Share your goals, your fears, and your progress along the way. And finally, recognize your own value. Be active in the journey as a mentee. You can bring curiosity, you can bring fresh perspectives. And when you approach mentorship as a mutual exchange, it becomes more authentic and empowering. Yeah.
Okay, wow. That was a great last word. Hey, thank you very much, Salma. I think our questioning rounds are sort of passed through with all the questions we had. We have a little bit less time than expected by this point of the course, but maybe we give the floor now to the audience. Is Yiying, you're surveying the chat. Is there any question there from the audience?
I have not seen questions, not yet.
Okay.
But,
So don't be shy, dear audience, dear ladies, and maybe even dear gentlemen, to write something in the chat that still interests you. We've heard a lot of things. We've covered possibly all aspects and perspectives that you can have either in a mentee position, but also in a mentoring position. And I can only confirm from my own experience, the more open you are and the more trustful you can get along the way with a mentor in a relationship, the better it will work. And consider mentoring to be an investment in yourself if you're in a mentee position. A lot of women still shy away from that and sort of decrease even the value things have for them. Don't be shy. Don't suffer from making yourself smaller than you really are. As Salma said, you have to recognize your own value, and you have to learn how you are your best self, your best authentic self. And that you can learn as a mentee, but as a mentor, I can say you can also learn a lot from the mentees. Even on the skills level. I mean, modern technology for elderly women like myself is sometimes not so easy. You haven't looked very thoroughly at my introduction slides, probably. I just put this together very short notice with a new logo. I still find that I have no idea about how to do it better in PowerPoint, but I learned that. And on the other side, I think personally, it's a very enriching experience to be trusted, to be recognized for your experience too. So it goes back and forth. It's given and taken in each direction from both parties. That's for myself the biggest benefit personally from mentoring. And of course, to have the pleasure of witnessing somebody progressing and growing in whatever level doesn't play a role. Is just the best you can see, and accompanying a person is a real honor in such a phase. That's from my point as mentors. So if we still don't have any questions from the audience, but I'll wait for that maybe for a little bit. Any progress in the chat?
Hi, hello. Can you hear me? We have one person.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. My name is Jaycee Gonzalez, and I'm from Panama. I'm really happy and grateful for hearing all your experience, ladies, for sharing your ideas. And I was wondering if this is going to be the first webinar, or in what way we are going to be connected in the future.
I'm sorry, I did not get the last half sentence. You were wondering about?
I'm just wondering, yes, in what ways we are going to be connected in the future, of it is going to be the first webinar, or how we are going to be involved, because I'm genuinely interested to be part of this network.
Okay. Thank you. That's very kind and very nice and interesting to hear. The question about the connection so far is not so easy to answer because we are so new and not really sort of formalized so much, which is a big advantage, but also some days it's a disadvantage. We think that the best thing you can do to stay connected is to join the LinkedIn group we have and to be a member of that. And we will try to post as much as we can as we progress from this group. Maybe Lizzie or maybe Yiying, you want to say something about this, or maybe Debbie. And I think Debbie just put the link into the chat, so you can copy it from there.
Thank you, Debbie.
We are at a point. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Debbie, for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah. For the moment, we are a network of networks, as I presented in the beginning. So it's difficult for us to determine how we would get single interested women, of whom we want lots, of course, but how do we bring them in a form that serves them with information on a continuous level, and that helps us to figure out how do we contact the single women and how do we contact the partners in our network. We still have to figure this out, and for that reason, again, it might be most helpful to be part of that LinkedIn group and contact. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Barbara, and so thank you, and I think I'm already part of the network. Yep.
Okay.
So I will
thank
be following you guys. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks very much, Jaycee. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just add one more point. We will continue to organize webinars or training opportunities for women, and we'll try to schedule them so that women in every parts of the world, or men, we're not excluding the other gender, everybody can have a chance to participate. I know it's really hard to find a time that's convenient for everyone in the world, so we'll try to rotate the time a little bit between different webinars so people can all participate at some point. And just make sure to follow our LinkedIn page, so we'll announce these things whenever we organize these events.
Okay, Thank you very much, Ian, for adding that. Yeah, that certainly will be the way forward. And I mean, it's almost like mentorship start. You know, we are at the start of Wish, so we don't know exactly where the journey will take us to, but I'm sure it will be quite exciting and fascinating and helpful, not only for us but also for all the others participating. And we'll find a way to integrate any woman from the hydropower sector or related to hydropower sector industries. We can offer something where she can join. So my biggest advice, if you had asked me that last question, would have been network, network, network. It's the best feeling for a woman to experience that there are more women out there whom you can join forces with, join skills with, whatsoever. Just come together with other people, other women, to find out that you are not alone and that you can always get help from a network. Join one. If you don't like it, take the next one. Maybe this sounds a little bit crazy, but there are networks that will really suit you well. Maybe they might be closer to you. Maybe they might more remote, like only online. But still, we do lots of mentoring only online. It was a coincidence that I could meet with both of my mentees who are here today in a physical manner. But that is not the normal case, like we often do the mentoring. And it works as well. It's nice to be there physically, of course, but it works so well to do it online only. It's not only, it's a great energy transfer back and forth, even through a screen, I can assure you.
So we have
Okay.
a couple of comments in the chat. One from Kelly Schaefer, who's the steering committee chair for the Women in Hydropower mentorship program. She said, wonderful words, ladies. Appreciate you sharing all your advice for mentoring. We also have a comment from Rwanda, from Peace Pasika, saying thank you to all the incredible women who shared their mentorship journeys and successes during the WISH webinar.
Okay. Thank you so much. So we have some little time left. Debbie, do you still want to address some points?
No, no particular points. I think you ladies did a fabulous job in sharing your experiences. So I just wanted to thank all of the speakers, and to you, Barbara, of course, for doing a great job moderating, and for all the hard work that went into the preparation of our first WISH webinar.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Yeah.
Should we ask people to turn on their cameras and have a picture to celebrate our first webinar?
Yeah. Who would take that? Since
I can
I'm
do
not
a
the host.
screenshot. I'll do a screenshot.
Yeah. So Mishika, can you please turn on your camera? I see yours is still shut down. Sorry to name you out here.
I'll give a
So we all smile all the time, Ying. You tell us when we can stop that.
Yeah.
And continue smiling, of course.
I'll give 5 more seconds for people to figure out their cameras. And it's okay if you don't feel comfortable turning on your camera, but all right. I will do 3, 2, 1, and I will do a screenshot. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me just double check. Yeah, it worked.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Ying. Yeah, so I think at the end of this 1 hour, I think we are fantastic in our time management today. I like that very much. And the audience, if you still have questions, just come across. But the last 2 minutes now, I will start with thanking to all our panelists. Thank you for being here and sharing your experience. This was wonderful to hear. And I mean, there would be so many more wonderful stories behind all the ones you already gave. I'm sure about that. And of course, the mentors could also talk a little bit about themselves. But I think for today, it's good. Thank you to the audience for attending today. We were up to 35 people at our maximum point, I saw. So thank you to everybody for attending this, and we'll keep in touch and progress with our offers, and you'll hear back from us. And for the rest, I simply wish all of you a a nice day, however late it might be in your country or your place right now. It's late afternoon in Germany. I wish you a wonderful Easter holidays, however long and many days you might have. It's very different in countries also. Enjoy life, yeah. Take good care of yourself, and thank you for having this with Wish as the first really great venue we did online. Thank you and good